Well, I'm sitting here today with the new star that's hit the Trimet scene running, Mr. Lane Jensen. And Lane has just returned from the Trimet Board of Directors meeting. We're going to do a little interview with him about that. But before we get into that, I want to ask you, Lane, you seem to be, some of these parody accounts that are appearing about you on Twitter, like Portland Transient Lane, and somebody's taking your old Porto traffic, and you know, I thought I had a lot of enemies out here in internet land, but you seem to be the champ. So what's going on with all that? Can you explain any of that to me?
Well, I think what happened was I used to do listen to the scanner and do tweets about it, and some people didn't like the fact that I would post stuff about what police were doing when they thought it was appropriate to delay the tweets. I didn't think that was a problem, so they got angry with me and decided not to follow me. Now they think I'm doing this to get revenge on Trimet, which I'm not. I'm just trying to expose the holes that Trimet has, so they will fix it. That's about all I'm doing out here now.
Yes.
And if they don't like it, well, yeah, they can make all the parody accounts they want. I could care less. It just means the more parody accounts they make, the more popularity I have on Twitter.
Yeah, one thing I've found about negative publicity, it almost has like the opposite effect for people. It like creates more interest in the person. I mean, that's basically how I became noticed, was I got a lot of negative publicity, and you know, it's kind of like a boomerang. So I'm curious when I see it, because you get quite a bit of it.
I do.
Yeah. Now on to the board meeting. Tell us about the board meeting, and then you had some interesting conversations with a couple of board members on the way home.
Yes, the board meeting was very, well, I wouldn't say informative, but interesting. They have now approved an unrestricted fund where they can get money whenever they want. And
unrestricted fund.
Yes, unrestricted fund.
Unbelievable.
I concur with that.
Yeah.
And they say now they're not going to let their cash reserves drop below a 1 month supply of reserves. They also say if it does ever go down that far, they have a credit line with the board that they can get more money from.
So what about the 20 million reserve?
They said nothing about that. They probably already spent it on probably the light rail, because they have $291 million going to the new Portland-Milwaukee light rail project. And that is the total cost just going to Stacy and Whitbeck.
Yeah, the total cost is 1.5 billion.
Yeah. But yeah, 291 million is going to Stacy and Whitbeck.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Stacy and Whitbeck has pretty much done the entire rail system for all of the streetcar and for Trimet. I mean, they've made money on Trimet, boy, like you wouldn't believe.
Oh God, it's ridiculous.
All right. So what else? What else of significance? Tell us about the talks you had on the way. Let's see, you had a talk with McFarland on the way out the door?
The way out the door, I asked him if I could talk. One of his aides said we have to go for lunch. I'm like, I can walk and talk, that's fine. I was fine with that.
Yeah.
And then I asked him specifically, because he heard my comments about the transit mall and the problems at the transit mall. And he said and I asked him, is there a reason why Portland police, transit police, and supervisors are not enforcing this, enforcing what's going on downtown?
Yeah.
He told me specifically, we just don't have enough transit officers to be able to enforce it downtown.
Yeah.
And we do missions. And he said we do missions once in a while. But that's about all we can do downtown because all the transit officers are tied up with other things. So therefore we can't enforce it.
Right.
So therefore, in my opinion, he doesn't care about safety of the drivers, max operators, nobody on the transit mall, because he's not willing to hire more transit police to make sure that the transit mall is safe for everybody out there.
Well, but you also asked him about my accusation with Sam Adams, right? Did you ask him?
Yes.
And he said that wasn't true.
He said that was completely untrue.
Of course he would say that. I mean, those orders are never published.
Exactly.
Those are off the record orders that they issue to the, Sam would say to the chief, we don't want this enforced. He's not gonna make a public statement or issue an actual memorandum about it. He would obviously make that a verbal understanding
Right.
without any record.
Yeah, off the record, because then that way there's no.
And that's
trace of it.
that's how most politics are conducted anyway.
Agreed.
All right.
And then I asked him about also filming on the bus, which I have seemed to run into a lot of conflict about.
Yeah.
Now, of course, on your blog, you've got the legal opinion that it's all right because it's a public place. And I asked McFarland directly, is a bus considered a public place to film on the bus? And his response was, oh, you have to get consent from everybody on the bus before you film.
That's interesting.
So he basically avoided my question and answered something totally different because he knows I'm right, and he didn't want to admit the fact that I'm right because he knows who I am. Now, he did state that he wrote down my blog name, so he will watch it. But I very much doubt. I saw him writing. But he probably just scribbles like Jon Stewart does during the Daily Show. It's all scribble.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, that's what their position is ridiculous on that.
Yep.
There's never been an issue until you showed up. Okay, and all of a sudden you know how many videos are out there? Thousands of Trimet videos. And all of a sudden Lane shows up and now it's illegal. So we know that it's bullshit and they're trying to scare you and. For them to they'd have to go to the DA to get a prosecution on that. They're not going to get it. Okay. I've had 3 attorneys look at that, and none of them.
And see, don't forget JC Fadassa or whatever his name.
Vanetta
came up to me and told me that it's illegal to film on the bus.
Yeah. Well, they can tell you anything. They can, Yeah. We've seen Trimet's interpretation of laws in action with our union.
It's so raw. It's so raw.
We've seen them violate laws. We know that they do that, okay, and they have a whole established record of violating laws, especially in labor relations. So it wouldn't be surprising that they would do the same thing in this case too, because basically they're a unaccountable organization. They have a whole team of lawyers paid. And it's up to you to defend. If they wanted to, they could prosecute me, for example. But
they're not going to.
Well, they'll make them look stupid and.
Right, and then the other thing is.
But they'll try to discourage people like you to.
Yeah, and it's not, and they don't discourage me one bit because I'm just going to keep going out and doing it. So then I walk from City Hall over to the MAC station. I see Mr. Bethel and Mr. Prosser waiting for the MAC. Mr. Prosser actually wrote in from Lake Oswego on the transit system, which I was very impressed with. Which I think he is the only one who rides the transit system to board meetings. Yeah, he's retired, so he doesn't have that much to go to. But when he does come to the board meetings, he rides the transit, which I'm very impressed with. So on the Max at Gateway, I got off the back car, went to the front car, and he was there. So I ended up talking to him about what was going on the transit system, because he doesn't know the baseline problems that affect riders on a daily basis. And I talked to him about all of this, And when we got up past Lloyd Center, I told him that supervisors are coming after me because I'm wearing the Trimet jacket and the Trimet fleet, or the Trimet hat.
Which we also have a legal opinion on.
Which we have a legal opinion on. And I asked him directly, is this illegal, like this, to wear this? He said, no, it's not. And I asked him, is there anything in the Trimet Code of Conduct that says I can't wear this? He's like, no. So I now have the backing of Mr. Craig Prosser, Clackamas County Chair for Trimet Board.
He's not the chair, but he's a Clackamas County representative.
He's the Clackamas County representative, now telling me I can wear this. So if I have a board representative...
Well, of course, you can. We already... I think we established that... we established that, but it's good to hear a board member also say that.
So now, since I have that, I can defend myself with supervisors saying, look, the board of directors have already told me I can do this, so why are you saying I can't? Because the board's higher than you. And then
I know, but there's no, the problem with Trimet is really nobody's in charge. Okay.
Oh, God.
The person in charge is the person you're talking to at that moment. That's always been the problem with Trimet. You never know what the real policy is because there's too many people involved with it. So, I mean, the supervisor can say this, and then another supervisor. When I was working there, I was running to that all the time.
Oh, God.
Okay, so that's interesting. And so what else? Anything else that we should cover here?
Let me think here briefly. I actually advised him and to spread the word to the board members to listen to the scanner. Listen to the Trimet scanner, because I told them,
you guys really... It's an excellent idea.
I told them directly, do you really know what's going on?
They can get it on the internet.
Exactly. I told them that. And I told them I'll put a link on my blog. I will do that. That's no problem. PortlandTransit, PortlandTransitLane.wordpress.com. of course, for all you watching out there. But I told them have a link and listen during just the rush hour time, 4 to 7. That's all you, just 3 hours a day. That's all you need, and you can hear about exactly what's going on and what's affecting these riders on a daily basis. And also to do a Trimet search, or a Twitter search, for Trimet, just the word Trimet, and they'll see everything that is going on in the Trimet system. They don't understand how big social media is nowadays. That is how 90% of Portland communicates, is by social media. And I told them, you know, look at what King County Metro does. I mean, Eric Halstead, at SB_redirecting, or something like that.
SP Red Electric.
Yes, SB Red Electric, okay? He always tweets about what King County Metro is doing. And look at Trimet. Half hour, 45-minute delays on you know, service alerts during rush hour. That is so incredibly rude to customers and incredibly slow to the point where there's nothing that the rider can do because they don't know what's going on. I experienced that myself last week when I was waiting for a blue line at Galleria. There was no alert, but no train. Until I started walking and I got to my destination, I finally got the alert of what was going on, which is wrong.
I agree with you there.
So there, I hope Mr. Prosser listens. I'm also going to be making a video about the drivers not getting brakes because the paddles are so stretched thin that the drivers have no time for brakes. I'll be making a video and presenting that at the board meeting next month.
Oh, okay, very good. Well, thank you. That's a very good report, Lane. Thank you very much.